Hi, and welcome to Destinations. I'm your host, Brittany Pierce, here to provide all kinds of inspiration for your next trip. We're coming to you today from San Diego, California, and picturesque Balboa Park, the largest urban cultural park in the U.S., and home to museums, performing arts venues, and the world-famous San Diego Zoo. In today's show, we'll see an extraordinary perishable art display. We'll introduce you to a bit of New Orleans folklore and try to scare you with a good ghost story. And we'll convince you to shop your local farm stand. But first, let's take an inside look at one of the most unique attractions of historic Balboa Park. In 1914, President Woodrow Wilson lit this pavilion to launch the Panama, California International Exposition, and the Spreckels organ has been amazing music lovers ever since. In 1914, John and Adolph Spreckels donated the Spreckels organ to the city of San Diego for the Panama, California Exposition. This unique outdoor pipe organ contains more than 5,000 pipes ranging in length from the size of a pencil to 32 feet and is the largest outdoor pipe organ in the world. Every Sunday afternoon, year-round, the sound of the organ resonates through the park during the weekly free concert.
I usually come here on Sunday afternoon. I just ride my bike over here and enjoy the concert. You never know what's going to happen, but you know it's going to be interesting.
Like my predecessors, I am the 8th in 104 years. It's my life. That's what my life is about. My life is about preparing music and getting music ready for them. Music happened to be the way humans communicate in a non-symbolic way, in an emotional way. So there is no way you can have humans without music. That never existed. I play Broadway music and then Johann Sebastian Bach and then some early Renaissance and then late Romantic and then something from the novelties or something really modern like Bohemian Rhapsody from Queen or things like that. So I mix different styles so all people who like music get together. There is a little bit of everything for everybody. But that's the idea of joining all together on music as an art.
With more than 10,000 moving parts, the organ was a technological marvel when it was built more than 100 years ago. It remains the king of instruments today because of the impeccable care it receives from its curator.
The doors are open after the concert. People can come on stage, look at the console, talk to us down there. They can come up the stairs here and look into the organ, see the pipes.
Different shapes of pipes make different sounds. That's why there's so many of them. The more pipes being played, the more volume you get. The pedals open up louvers and pipes.
We are actually inside the wind chest. Austin, the builder of this organ, is unique in that it has a walk-in wind chest. We're underneath the pipes. So above my head are valves that above each valve is a pipe. If you look in there, you can see the toe of the pipe up there. And so each of these valves, when you play a note, when you play a key, this moves. So really the organ is a big box of whistles. There's something about hearing music live that's much more exciting than hearing it coming through earbuds or through loudspeakers. This is the real thing.
It's just a fabulous way to spend the afternoon.
This is free. It's a great reason to come out to Balboa Park and spend the afternoon.
You're in San Diego, beaches are everywhere, museums are everywhere, but you will never be able to see something like this.
There's something about the sound of the organ that you can feel all the way through your bones. You really have to experience it in person. Now, while it's sunny and warm here in the perpetual summer of San Diego, most of the country is well into autumn and pumpkin spice season. If you carved a pumpkin for Halloween this year, you'll have a special appreciation for the immense amount of time and talent that has gone into this annual Rhode Island display.
We are here at Roger Williams Park Zoo in Providence, Rhode Island. Tonight you're at the Jack-O-Lantern Spectacular. It's this wonderful synergy between passion for pumpkins and the zoo, and it's become this tradition every year that from the first Thursday in October to the first Sunday in November, we get thousands and thousands of families come through and see whatever show John has carved for us.
Well, every year, one of the challenges is trying to come up with a different theme. This year, I saw the cover of a Vivaldi album, and I'm thinking, wow, you know, we could do some nice images of the Four Seasons and incorporate the music. So that's this year's theme, Vivaldi's Four Seasons.
I think the pumpkin that keeps jumping out at me is there's in the summertime section, children are running to an ice cream truck and you can see the housing in the back. It's amazing artistry. Every pumpkin here is carved by Passion for Pumpkins. Anything you see on the trail, an artist from Passion for Pumpkins has carved.
We have 5,000 plus, and they all have to be redone every week. It's a quarter-mile trail, but we have to have staging on both sides, so it's a half-a-mile staging.
The fact that there's 5,000 pumpkins, but in the course of the show you could go through 20 to 25,000 because if it's too hot, the pumpkin goes bad and it goes moldy.
Of course, like some of these Rockwells are like a 24-hour pumpkin there, and you know, it's only lasting a week, and we know that, so. And I think that's what people appreciate, that there's so much effort putting into something that is perishable and it's got to be redone. That's why people come to see it.
I think it's just one of those things that people started coming in 2001 and they just kept coming back. Even though you see all these pumpkins every year it looks different because it's a different theme.
For me personally, to be able to be the major fundraiser for the zoo, and I'm a big wildlife guy, that's really important. Aside from the artists being able to display their work for 100,000 plus people every year, and just a lot of good coming out of it.
Working with Passion for Pumpkins is a lot of fun. Pumpkins are an interesting fruit. I mean, you can do artwork on them and then you can feed them to an elephant and it's very healthy.
It's been 31 years now. Wow, I can't believe it myself. I didn't think I'd ever still be doing this.
Wow, I really need to up my jack-o'-lantern game. There are many communities around the country that celebrate fall with pumpkin displays, and probably one close to you, but that has to be one of the best I've ever seen. Stay right there. When we return, we'll take you inside of a museum that celebrates the rich and sometimes spooky history of New Orleans. Americans will spend more than $377 million on jack-o'-lantern pumpkins this season. Wow. Welcome back. One of the most popular tourist destinations in the U.S. is New Orleans for so many reasons. The city is synonymous with an everlasting party fueled by jazz, beignets, beads, and voodoo.
People come to New Orleans because New Orleans is one of the oldest cities in the world, and they come here for voodoo. My name is Madame Cinnamon Black. I'd like to welcome you to the Voodoo Museum, where people come here to find out about voodoo. So you think voodoo doll is real too, huh? Well, yeah. Well, we have voodoo doll for you. Not like Chucky, but we have dolls that people possess. Voodoo dolls come from England, better known as the puppet doll. And it's a form of sticking a pin inside the doll to make the doll do something for you. But here in the city of New Orleans, we possess the dolls. The dolls are used to form a certain kind of magic. There are so many true things said about New Orleans, but the true stories about Marie Laveau, there are so many. This portrait it shows a picture of Marie Laveau. She was a Creole, a devoted Catholic, and she was also a free woman of color. Some people call her saint, others call her a legend, but I call her the most powerful voodoo priestess known here in the city. The old chicken foot is used to fight off evil. They say you place this out in someone's home, own someone's car who take your parking space, or even in your business to fight away evil. Inside the museum, you'll notice there's a voodoo journey. That journey is where voodoo travels from Africa to the United States. This is often the same journey that's traveled by most hurricanes. from Africa to the United States. This particular display that we have here represents Saint Expedite. Saint Expedite is a spirit that stands at the gateway of the cemetery. He's better known as Baron Sambi or Papa Legba. There's a folktale story that's often told about Papa Legba having a top hat and tobacco. He likes rum and he likes vodka, so they say he dropped his sunglasses. Because of that, you will see he has one lens in to see the living and poof, one lens out to see the dead. This is one of the main altars that you would normally see inside the homes of Louisiana. They'll have a Bible, they'll have things that belong to their ancestors, and you'll normally see Catholic saints. Often when you ask the ancestors of a favor, you would go to the grave and pay them back by cleaning the grave, by wiping off the slate, by sitting down talking to Uncle Joe and maybe having a drink with him. Voodoo is in the city of New Orleans. Yes, it is. It's inside the food, the music, and the drinks. So if you come to our city and you have something to eat or drink, the voodoo's already got you. We're here located in the heart of the French Quarters at 724 Dumaine Street, New Orleans, Louisiana. My name is Madame Cinnamon Black. Thank you.
Okay, that wasn't as spooky as I was expecting. You can find small, niche museums like the Voodoo Museum in almost every community around the country. And they're usually an entertaining and inexpensive way to spend a few hours learning about something you didn't know you needed to know. Stay right there. When we come back, we'll take you to some of the most haunted places in Arizona. So get ready for a good ghost story. Almost half of Americans believe in ghosts, and 20% say they've seen one themselves. Welcome back to Destinations. Ask anyone in Arizona the location of the spookiest town, and chances are they'll point you towards either Tombstone or Jerome. If you love a tour that makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, you may want to visit the largest ghost town in America.
If there is such a thing as a haunted town, it's Tombstone.
And there's areas here in Jerome that, unless I absolutely have to go into them, I prefer not to.
We hear voices, footsteps, noises. They like to play with the calculator.
Some people take pictures and they get heads of different apparitions in there as well.
The morgue area, I'll stay away from it. I'll stay away.
Something about Tombstone, the feeling, something in the ground. And if you come here, you will feel it.
I've seen things that I can't explain.
You are in the surgery room, which is now just the grand suite of our hotel.
This is the world-famous Birdcage Theater. In this building alone, we had 16 gun and knife fights, 26 men lost their life, and 140 bullet holes in the walls, ceilings, and floors.
Things would show up at the house, and there was cold spots, and these people had, it wasn't even a mist. It was like these shadows and things like that showed up.
Something we call shadow people. And as people walk the boardwalks of Tombstone, they say out of the corner of their eye, they see someone who, when they look, is no longer there.
On a summer day, going out for a walk, you walk by the Cuban Queen and you can still smell lavender, which was the Cuban Queen's favorite perfume.
We also have a stage manager, Charlie Keene, that chimes in once in a while, and he comes across the stage.
These are the spaces where the Earps and Holiday and all the rest of them walked. We have a little saying here, walk where they walk, stand where they fell, and people feel it.
Well, the lady in white actually roams the hall mainly on this floor, but she's been known and sighted walking down the hall and sometimes even in this room as well.
On the backstage, the Black Mariah, the horse-drawn hearse that took the bodies to Boot Hill Cemetery trimmed in 24-karat gold and sterling silver.
I hear stories of Dr. Jolly, and some guests have seen a green apparition in the big mirror that they have there in the restaurant.
Dice, faro, blackjack tables all remain from the 1800s. This, of course, is where Doc Holliday dealt cards, and this is where Wyatt met his precious Josephine.
We have clairvoyants, we have spiritualists. They all come here and they always say positive things about this place.
It's one of those things here in Jerome, and living in a ghost town and with the amount of history and things like that is the fact that, you know, you're going to bump into things.
Ghosts are the spirits of those who die with unfinished business.
You're put on this plane for a certain reason, and if you're taken off the plane beforehand, the likelihood of you hanging around is pretty good.
And if you come to Tombstone and you're not careful, they will live their lives through you.
I don't think I'd want to do that tour alone. I've been on many ghost tours, but that one looks like the real deal. When we come back, we'll take you to an epic farm stand with mountains of fresh produce and absolutely no ghosts. The number of farmers markets in the U.S. has skyrocketed. In 1994, there were less than 2,000. And today, you can get fresh from the farm veggies at nearly 9,000 farmers markets. Welcome back. Autumn is a perfect time to visit a local farmer's market, pumpkin patch, or roadside produce stand. At Confreda Farms in Rhode Island, you can find the freshest produce, then pick a pumpkin, take a hayride, or dare to venture into the corn maze.
The business was founded in 1922. Originally we started off as just a little produce farm selling to a couple of local grocery stores.
This location here, I started out with a little farm wagon out in the front.
Overall, we farm about 450 acres throughout Rhode Island between Warwick, Cranston, Scituate area. We pick mainly corn, squash, tomatoes. We grow about 250,000 pepper plants. We're actually one of the largest pepper producers in New England. But, you know, our real specialties are corn.
I do all the picking of the sweet corn. I'm out there at 2:30 in the morning. And a lot of my customers, wholesale customers, they're here lined up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get their sweet corn because they know it's picked fresh that day.
We also have our agritourism part. This is the 26th year of our agritourism piece, and that's mainly pick your own pumpkins, the fall festival, hay rides, and then we also have our Scary Acres, Rhode Island. I believe this is the 16th year, and that's our haunted hayride and corn maze. So we actually have a full animal barnyard here. We have cows, chickens, pigs, goats, a pony. We're going to be getting a donkey soon.
And basically educate the younger crowd to see actually where their food is coming from. Today the children, you know, don't associate farms with their food.
Over the past 3 years, we've kind of shifted things a lot, and we opened up our garden center. The greenhouse business, that was something actually my father started. That was his kind of pet project when he was my age, actually.
So I was always passionate about greenhouses and growing in, trying to think of a winter activity to keep busy. So back in 1972, I actually started growing potted tomatoes. And then every year it kept growing and growing. I kept adding more greenhouses.
So now we sell to about 65 different garden centers across the New England area. You know, and then we also have our direct-to-consumer market here, which is the garden centers we're in right now. I guess my pet project might be the market. This past year we actually did a pretty big remodel of the market. We added more grocery, we added the meat department, we expanded on our deli. Over the past 10 to 15 years we've kind of developed more of a deli, we have more of a grocery, and the newest thing would be our meat department. Just like everything else at Confreda's, you know, quality is #1. So all of our meats are, you know, certified Angus beef, USDA prime. We also carry local meats as well. And over the past 2 or 3 years, we've seen some serious growth.
But from Confreda Farms, people know where their produce is coming from. So people know they get that freshness because they know it's fresh and healthy.
Produce from your local farm stand is always the best way to go. Here in San Diego, we're able to keep farmers markets going year-round. That perfect climate is one of the reasons San Diego and Balboa Park are such popular destinations for tourists. While you're in the park, Don't miss the International Cottages. I had a chance to visit with some of the cottage hosts who introduce visitors to their unique cultures through art, music, dance, and food.
The cottages began in 1935 as a way of promoting friendship and culture. There are now 32 members. The House of China's mission is to preserve, present, and promote Chinese culture. And since Balboa Park is a jewel of San Diego, it's a great opportunity.
Tea actually has been a big part, a huge part in Chinese culture, actually in our daily life. We drink tea from when we were very young. It helps not only for your health, it helps with your mental. You know, it's like the liquid meditation for your body.
Smells like there's a little jasmine in there. Yeah.
They get to have a cup of tea. We have a tea room behind me. While they're having the nice cup of tea, they get to see the beautiful arts and crafts from Iran. I want them to see we are not bad people, we are okay, and Iran is a very old country, has very diverse group, and we are very hospitable people.
I think it's an awesome way to share amongst ourselves different cultural backgrounds to create a good place for people to come and learn. And also because all of what we do is free to the public. Anyone can come any Saturday or Sunday here. Every weekend we serve waffles. Velkommen skal du være. Hyggelig å få besøk på huset vårt.
Visiting the House of Hospitality and their International Cottages is almost like taking a world tour in just a couple of hours. Plus, they're just so darn cute. That's all we have for you today. To keep up with me and everything happening here at Destinations, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see this and all of our shows, plus special bonus content. I hope we've inspired you to start planning your next trip or to go exploring in your own backyard. Thanks for watching. I'm Brittany Pierce, and I'll see you next time on Destinations.